As much as I want that fencing done, sitting up there in the heat of the sun in the hottest part of the day, tying wire across that just doesn't seem like the kind of fun I want to have right now. So instead of that, I am going to do some shuffling around, get my welder out, because it's time to start the I-beam project. When Logan and I went to the salvage yard a couple of weeks ago, I got this giant chunk of big I-beam. It's massive. And it is going to be the coolest tool I've ever built. I'm going to shuffle some things around. I'm going to get that I-beam out here, get my welder from the back where I just welded up that spike wheel brace. And I'll bring that welder out here, and I think I'm going to go to welding up and building this tool for the excavator. Well, I am going to get started using this I-beam. I think these were 12 inches across. Let's see. It's big. Yeah, it's 12 inches by 12 inches. The webbing is half an inch, a little over. And the plates are 3/4. And I think it's like 9.5 feet long. Yep, no, 8.5. 8'7". What I'm basically building is, I've seen it called like a chuck blade. Essentially, I just want a giant leveling rake for the front of the excavator. The point is not to try to scoop up the material, but to catch it, drag it, blade it, flat it. The benefit of the I-beam, at least in my mind as I see it right now, I think it's going to be great, is that I can use the bottom plate as a flat surface to kind of press and flatten smooth. I can use the leading edge or the tail edge as kind of a hook point of the rake to be able to pull across and shave dirt or gravel. It'll kind of work like a box scraper that way, where I can scrape and pull the material and kind of smooth across, but then being able to use the bottom plate as I would a smooth bucket, where I can use the bottom side of it to kind of smooth the space as I go. So shouldn't take me too long to weld it up, as long as all of my tooling works correctly. This big thick angle iron is what I'm going to use to build the ears. So I'm going to cut it in half. I'll weld that across at the width that I need for the coupling, and then I will torch out holes for the pins to go in, and I'm going to weld in pins on this one. That's it. We're going to just do that, get it ready to go together. I ran right out of cutting wheels for my grinder. I kept pinching when I was cutting because I'm trying to cut these at a flat angle so they'll sit nicely against when I weld them up. So I kept pinching it and breaking them off. I had to take it in there and use my little 3-inch air die grinder to finish that cut. But it's done. These might be a little bit overkill to put these gussets in there. Because I'm going to weld the pins, it should pretty well be fine. But I would rather put them in there than have something, you know, a little too much pressure on one end of that I-beam and have it bend both sides or bend those tabs at all. There's a lot of leverage out here on the end, so if I gusset that, it should help. Wind. I'm just borrowing these pins out of a bucket that I don't use that often. And I'm going to weld them in. They're longer than they need to be, but I'm going to get them in here and get them just welded in. I don't know if my hole saw is going to cut through that very well or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. It'll certainly make a cleaner hole for me to slide them into than any other option I have. These are a 50mm pin. I got an 1 7/8" hole saw, and it'll probably be just right by the time you get that little bit of wobble you get on the cut of the hole saw. 12 inches. I'm sure that would make it anyway. I'm going to measure a few things real quick for clearances. These are 6-inch angle iron. The coupling needs 2.5 inches to center a pin for clearance. So I think I'm going to go 4 inches up. Should give me 1.5 inches clearance in here and a little over 1 inch tab of thickness there. The pins are going to be clear out here on the end. They'll be all right like that. But I wanted to weld these in because I wanted that to be more stabilized. If I had like 1-inch tabs here or something and fully gusseted with big thick pin bushings, then I'd go ahead and do bolt-in pins, but that's a lot bigger and more than I need for this. So with them being welded, that'll stabilize these tabs to keep them from bending or anything, and it'll make it all come together as one piece. And those gussets, like I said, are probably a little bit overkill, but probably worth it in the long run. Okay, I guess we'll see if this is going to work. I'm going to drill a little pilot hole through these first with an 1/8 inch bit, just so that my centering bit on the hole saw doesn't have to work so hard. And that way more of the work the drill is doing is working the hole saw and not so much on that centering bit. Oh, what I wouldn't give for the old days of we had a mag drill with annular cutters. Man, that was nice for this heavy duty stuff. It's cutting it. I just might be here till Tuesday next week. think I'm an eighth of an inch in, maybe. It's making progress. It's just slow. I might just go get the torch and torch them out. Now that I've got them marked, good like clean edge marked, I could probably just torch them out. I am going to weld it all back up anyway. Probably doesn't freaking matter. So I think I'm going to do that. Mark up this other side, drill them, mark them, and then I'm going to do it that way. I like it. Good plan. Okay. Now we'll get the torch. It'll just be much faster. I've never been terribly steady with a torch. I'm going to call that done. 8.5 foot leveling blade, I guess. That should hold up pretty well. I just looked and I don't have any primer, so I can't paint it yet, but well, now we've got it done. We got to try it. Better start the excavator and give this thing a whirl. Probably going to be pretty cool. Alright, that's the second coolest thing that I've put on this machine this summer. That's freaking awesome. I can't wait to use the heck out of that. I'm going to take it up right now, up where the chickens are, and just mess around for a minute with it.
Why?
What do you think of that? Skyscraper or something?
Yeah, let's see what it does.
Okay. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, so you're going to do that to like, you can do that all the, like you can take out ruts and you actually do like a curve, like, know, on the hill, like when you move sideways. Oh no, you need one of those.
I need a tilt rotator.
Yeah, you do.
But I can do a certain amount. If I turn the tracks so that I'm reaching over the side, I can use the blade to angle me so that it will be angled, because it's parallel with the machine. So if I put the machine at an angle and come sideways, I can pull sideways. I'll show you in the loose dirt real quick.
Okay. Why am I watching this? Oh my gosh, is this safe? That's cool, yeah. I can get behind that, but I do feel like you need a little rotating
Oh man,
cup.
that'd be so good.
Wouldn't that be something like that? You need to keep an eye on that.
I really was thinking about making it pivot. Just on its own. You don't need a rotator, but I would need a center pin here, this part up here with a pin to pivot from, and then a hydraulic cylinder here to angle it. I've seen them have a rotate built into it like that. Even some tilting buckets are where the bucket itself has a pivot and a cylinder. And I really did think about doing that, but I just didn't want to have to source a big cylinder and all the expense of all that. I try to do pretty good.
You do a good job, but this is way better.
Talk about leveling up, huh?
Yeah.
Heck of a leveling blade.
Yeah, it looks really good. Phenomenal.
So nice. That'll work awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Even on the roads, it was crazy just how much it took the ruts out.
We just need to get your rotating coupler thing. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, a tilt rotator.
Tilt rotator. I called it a rotating coupler.
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay.
That's all the same thing. Tilt rotator is what they call them, but usually you can get them as the coupling. This quick attach coupling that I have on here, you can get one for there that has the tilt rotator built into it. But I looked into it once and it was like $15,000.
Oh my hell.
So
you might as well get another excavator.
Just get one with it, right?
Yeah. But the chickens are gonna ruin your little thing.
They love anytime I disturb the dirt, they're like, there's gotta be worms in there.
There's gotta be something in there.
That's gonna be cool for this.
Yeah, this would be nice.
Fence line, I can like help pull that and smooth out that edge from the fence down to the road when I cut that. I'll be able to go through there and just butter that off after I cut this road. It's gonna be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
And then all this prep, when we push all this in and turn this slope into
road
shrubs and flowers and cool stuff, then I can prep that all nicely and make it look cool.
Yeah.